Hello, agate friends and fossil collectors and other rock hounds. I do apologize, I have to be a little bit quiet. It is about 1:30 in the morning and everyone's in bed. However, I pulled out all these fossils, which are over 300 million years old. So I figured I'd show them off. I'm ready to start trading. So just to begin, this section here, where the pen goes and the chapstick goes, those are pretty much all leaves, plant life, things like that. I will show you those shortly. Everything from the chapstick and down about that area are all reflections. That is fossils where the two pieces fold up on each other. And I'll show you what I mean in a little bit. It's kind of like a book. And the rest of these are just general fossils. Right there, though, are sort of concretions. I'm not sure what their actual name is, but we'll get to that as well. So first, I'll just show off the good stuff. I'm basically looking to sell or trade, mostly trade. Now, I know that plants and any sort of shelled aquatic life are a dime a dozen. However, these come from the Pennsylvanian era of the larger Carboniferous period. So these things predate dinosaurs and birds. These are significantly older than what you would find, just going for a walk and finding other typical gastropods and things of that nature. So, as you can see, I've had these for many, many years, and some of them are falling apart, and that's kind of why I want to move them. I mean, a lot of these are beautiful specimens, and they're being tucked away in that shoebox, and they've been there for half a decade now. It's time they get out and be appreciated. So this, I'm not sure what this one even is. Reminds me of a caterpillar. Obviously, it's not a caterpillar. I know that, but and this was interesting. So I pulled this one out today. This evening, and you see that brown coloration? That all flaked off tonight as if it was iron that was oxidized and falling off as rust. Of course, the imprint on the rock is just fine. But you see that brown, it's kind of just fading away, which is odd. And again, another just beautiful little leaf. It looks like a feather. The detail you probably can't see. Well, there it is. Yeah, you can see the detail, I guess. Just a beautiful little piece. And yes, I'm going to go over each part, so if you want to fast forward, go ahead. Otherwise, if you're serious or considering trading, maybe watch. So here you can actually see the vein go all the way through. And again, keep in mind, even though these look like feathers, they're not. These things predate birds by, 100 and some million years. And dinosaurs by 100 and some million years. So these are in fact leaves. And this looks like some sort of reedy aquatic life. You know, this looks like one very large, like palm frond, if you will, as opposed to that, or I've got ferns here too. Ferns. There we go. As you can see here, this one's cracked in half. I don't know if this happened as a result of just being tucked away for 5 years, or if this was how he pulled it out and it just cracked as we pulled out of the rock. I'm not sure. Here's a gorgeous specimen, very large. I mean, here's my thumb. You know, it's about the size of my thumb. Wonderful detail. And again, another sort of reedy specimen, it looks like. Nothing on the back of that one. Another beautiful fern. Little shell right there as well. Nothing on the back of that one. Again, another nice fern. As you can see, this is how we found it, but extremely fragile. A lot of these fossils need to be preserved with fossil glue or fossil adhesive. Here's a large fern, again, about the size of my thumb. And that differs from this specimen here. Oh, there we go. Couldn't quite see it. This one's a little more faint. You might be able to see the light capturing the leaf from there to the bottom. You can sort of see the vein down the middle. This one lacks a lot of the aesthetic that one does, but in person you can actually see a lot of the finer details. They're just not quite as substantial. Again, another sort of one of those reedy plants, it looks like to me. I'm no expert. I'm not trying to pretend to be, but you know, if you think of cattails and things like that, that's kind of what I see in things like this. As far as modern day comparison, that is. And this is just a nice slab, beautiful slab. Again, there's the leaf. That takes no effort to see. That one again is missing some nice detail, but you can see the vein and the outline, of course. And again, another sort of general reedy branch looking thing. And there's again another leaf that's got some sort of hole in it from natural processes. And this, it might be seaweed, it might be bacteria like algae, because it's sort of wavy. Doesn't have the appearance of any of the leaves I've seen. Doesn't have that reedy, woody appearance, either. I have that one, and I think this one. I have Well, no, I take that back. This one does look like it might be a plant. Whereas that one might be, you know, a multicellular plant or animal, like algae. And here's a small fern. Very impressive, though. Here's one. I think this one broke as we found it. But these are the kind of things that need to be preserved with fossil glue or fossil adhesive. And it's just not something I'm doing. So again here, this one has lots of detail, but is unfortunately broken. But snaps right in just like a Lego and can be easily preserved. Well, I either showed you all or most of those anyway. Those are the leaves, the ferns. I don't think I showed you this one. Again, great detail on that one. If I showed you this, I'm sorry, I don't recall it. So let's move on now. Let me show you some of the reflections. And that is, what I mean by that is those fossils that sort of open like books, if you will. So if you see here, there's a leaf here and a leaf here. And this is a rock I cracked open, as you can see. So if we hold it like this, we can actually close it shut. So this is the same fossil. So here you're getting the negative, I believe they call that. And here you're getting the depression. And this is just a wonderful display here of a shell that does that. And this is very obvious. You know, this closed in like this, it was cracked open, and that belongs together. This belongs together. I'm not sure what that is. Again, here's kind of a goofy one. So a very tiny specimen fits right in there. Can't even tell. But there it is. And then a lot of these are just, you know, shell aquatic life. This I'm a little unsure of. It's kind of a goofy shape. And these, I don't know what they're called. Are these maybe concretion balls? You know, you can see these everywhere, and I've got larger sort of concretions that just made themselves. I've got these all over the place. Nothing in them as far as fossils. And I have big slabs, so here's my hand. And they're full on both sides. Hand, my biggest one here. Again, and these can still be broken down further. You see how big these are? And it's shale, so it's unfortunately very fragile. but that means you can still break them apart if you have an air pen, or whatever that's called. You could easily take these things out and display them. This is actually pretty heavy. And a weird thing up here, I don't know what this is. I call it my crab leg. However, I think these, again, predate that sort of era. And then I'll just show you some other generals here quick. What's crazy is what pops out of these rocks are still fully formed. I mean, you're getting the whole entire thing. And this, I never noticed until tonight. This whole section here, it's all druzy. Sort of like little crystals, and I have no idea where it came from. And the outside looks totally non-conspicuous. I would think it's a dinosaur bone if I didn't know that they weren't around at this point. Again, here's my hand. So, very nice specimen there. My hand again. Nice imprint there. And a lot of these have stuff on the back of them or are so thick you could crack them open and find more. All right, so that's the gist of it. If anybody's interested in trading or buying, I would love to trade or sell these, because they're falling apart in that box. I mean, they're all stuffed in that box. All of that takes up a whole table. So if you'd like to save some of these, let me know. And before you think, oh, well, anybody can find a shell, anybody can find a leaf, those are a dime a dozen. Yeah, but what you're finding are more recent, sort of post extinction. These are from 200 and some to 300 and some million years old. And I can provide you the data with that as well if you're questioning anything. I have all that saved. So let me know what you think.